Hi, and welcome to Transaction TV. I'm your host, Anthony Attanasio, CEO of Hawk Strategies, and joining me today is my good friend, John Donlon, founder and president of UZURV, the Adaptive TNC. John, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah, thanks, Anthony. This is a great event. I look forward to it every year. Well, it's my third year in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to many more, learning a lot about the challenges here and where we may be able to help.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, Transaction has grown significantly. This is obviously our 50th anniversary, but even in the 3 years you've come, you've seen the size grow, the trade show floor, the diversity of the attendees. It's really exciting. It's a great time to be part of Transaction, so thank you for your support.
And it's a very integrated environment between NJT, the counties, and other providers of service to understand how we can help each other provide the services that the communities need. Because the problem, certainly with ADA, with paratransit, we've got an aging population, of course, but they're also living longer.
Yes.
So it's a problem that is going to get bigger and stay there.
Yes, and they want to stay in their homes. They want to
Yeah.
age in their homes, and New Jersey is a very car-centric state. So
Yeah.
we all support mass transit, but the reality is a lot of our aging population are aging in places without access to traditional mass transit. So let's talk a little bit about UZURV.
Sure.
You're the founder, and so in particular, you did mention paratransit, but why don't we go back to the beginning? What is UZURV? Why did you start it, and what led you to where we are today?
Yeah, UZURV is an alternative solution for paratransit mobility needs in communities. When we had to take the keys away from my father, it dawned on us very quickly that aside from family and friends, the options for an 80-plus-year-old man were really challenging ones to accept.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, you've got a lot of innovation.
Yeah.
You had Uber and Lyft, TNCs coming to bear.
And those work great for you and me.
They work great for the two of us, for many others, but not for my father.
Right.
And yet it was a very efficient model, very effective. The whole idea of being picked up in a door-to-door service, going point to point, so your ride time in a vehicle is limited, especially as you're older. That makes a very big difference. But the whole idea was to take what traditional or original TNCs created and adapt it to meet the regulatory requirements of our clients, the transit agencies, and of the FTA.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing and interesting. It grew because drivers that were called or interested in the service are members of communities, and they want to give back. And so they'll willingly accept drug and alcohol testing and the other credentialing that makes this a very secure method of providing this kind of transportation.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And, we started working together a few years ago. And one of the issues you had was you were trying to come into New Jersey, right, to provide this service. We won't bore our audience with the very torturous process that it took, including legislation, just to try to provide better transportation service to the disabled and disadvantaged communities, but thankfully we were successful. And now UZURV and New Jersey Transit was a major proponent of supporting that legislation. They knew they needed the support in their access link and paratransit services. They knew they wanted to work with a company like yours, but they were prohibited statutorily. So we got through that hurdle. And now, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's gone on with UZURV and New Jersey Transit since that law passed?
Yeah, well, first, I have to say I'm very thankful for NJT helping us with the legislative challenge that we had. But since we got through that, NJT has opened up the areas where we're now engaged with their prime contractors in the service areas throughout New Jersey. So we're building those relationships, building an understanding of the prime contractors in terms of how they can use us very effectively. NJT is seeing that in parallel. There's some new opportunities coming where, because we are FTA compliant, NJT, instead of having an opt-in program, can just use our service as an equivalent of what they do. Again, it's comparable in terms of the regulatory needs that are there. So we're looking at the volumes grow in these regions, but there are so many communities out there, many of them rural, where local service is needs to be augmented by a service like ours. So we're reaching out to the county leadership across the state to understand how their service is being executed now and where we can help them serve more members of the community.
That's exciting. I mean, just like our road network, everyone thinks about DOT, but really 80% of our roads are managed by counties or municipalities. Well, similar to New Jersey Transit, Access Link runs a certain percentage, but then the county systems run their own systems, right? But nobody's even scratching the surface on meeting the demand,
Yeah.
right? So it's been exciting to watch UZURV proliferate through New Jersey Transit system, and now it's exciting to see that hopefully you're going to be bringing this to counties and to the broader population. Because
Well, it seems pretty logical to me. Of course, I've been involved in this from day one, but the the responsibility through ADA to provide mobility for those with disabilities um, is a very expensive task.
Mhm.
Uh, Overall, ridership for in public transit is actually declining, yet costs are going up. And as you look at it, it's really a matter of the kind of performance and the kind of experience that riders need um, that has led to this model being adopted.
right.
And I think it will carry on and end up perhaps taking the lion's share of trips on a daily basis because of the cost effectiveness and the rider experience in particular.
Right. So, two things you touched on. One is that there are deserts in this state where Access Link does not reach, right? So these people are just as entitled, and our viewers at home can't see it, but John's lapel pin says the ADA is a promise,
Yeah.
because it is, and because our most needy population, when it comes to these level of support, is getting the least level of service, right? And so the work you're doing and that transit is putting out there, it's about quality of life.
Yeah.
It's about quality of life for people who deserve the same transportation options as anyone else. And I have a feeling we're going to see that percentage of how many trips, because you talked about ridership is declining, costs are going up. What's not declining? Our aging population,
Correct.
right? We're going to have more seniors, more folks living longer and
Yeah.
needing this level paratransit or equivalent type services. That need is only going to grow, right? And you've seen that everywhere where you work, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And when you look at the transit agencies themselves or the models that most of them use, those models are decades old.
Yeah,
When most of the population lived in a city center
correct.
or very close to one, and now with the urban sprawl, we're addressing people that aren't as convenient to pick up.
Correct.
And if the medical care or other needs that they have are in the city, we've got to get them in there, or the agency does. The law demands that we do. So we need to think outside the box in terms of delivery models. That's what I believe we're doing very effectively now, and I'm anxious to see more people experience it in New Jersey.
We are too. And one of the reasons is because as we look for New Jersey used to be a more innovative state. It used to be an incubator for more innovation. We're looking to try to get back there. One of the things we can honestly say is the service you provide is very innovative. And UZURV, it truly is one of a kind. And it's exciting to see you here in New Jersey. We're excited to have you right back here next year because we want to hear which counties you've gotten into
Yeah.
and where this service is expanding to so that we could share with our community that this is available to them, because I'm sure when folks watch this today, they're going to want that. So I want to thank you for being innovative in your entrepreneurship to create a company that services the people of greatest need. That's quite an undertaking, and it's very honorable. So thank you for having done that.
Thanks, Anthony. It's a pleasure working with NJT and the counties. Their commitment to the community is very, very real, and I'm really enjoying the conversations where they're sharing their needs and we're finding solutions for the population.
It's exciting when the private sector can help solve public sector needs. We're all winning, right? And that's
right.
exciting. So, ladies and gentlemen, very much enjoyed having John Donlon here. I hope you have too, the founder and president of UZURV. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for joining us for this episode of Transaction TV.
Thanks, Anthony.